Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to a new school year and welcome to BCMS. My name is Mrs. Kelm and I am so glad that you are here. I teach sixth grade English on the Avalanche team, and here's a little bit about me. So I have not been at BCMS for my whole career. I've spent most of it over in St. Michael and Albertville at the middle school level. I've taught mostly seventh grade, but also some sixth graders and some eighth graders. And for the past 2 years now, this will be my second year at Buffalo Community Middle School. And I am so glad to be starting year 19 with all of you. A little bit of background on my education. I've got a Bachelor of Science in Communication Arts and Literature, which means I'm licensed to teach grades 5 through 12, but middle school, they're my favorite. I love that age. I've got my master's in teaching and learning. I've got a reading certificate, and then I've also got a gifted certificate. And part of why those things are so important to me is because of my family, and you can see them there in the picture. So my husband and I, we live in St. Michael still, but all three of our kids are fellow students here at the BHM School District. Kylie, my oldest, is in eighth grade this year at BCMS, and she's a web leader, so maybe one of you will have her as your web leader this year. My son Davis is in Miss Beaumont's class over at Parkside, and he'll be in fourth grade this year. And then James is our youngest, and he is going to be in Miss Olson's class in second grade over at Parkside as well. I am a self-professed learning lover. Like, I love to learn, and I'm always trying to learn new things. And so when I'm at home, even during the summer, you'll find that I am reading and watching things and listening to podcasts and attending webinars because I love to learn new information. So on the screen here, you'll see the current areas of study, the things that are really exciting to me. And it's a bunch of different things. Hold on 1 minute. Back. So my current areas of study, as you can see, are right here on the screen. I've really been passionate about learning more about dyslexia and specifically dysgraphia because I've got a 2E learner in my household. So I've been spending a whole lot of time trying to learn about some of the things that impact my own kids, but also impact my students. Things like ADHD and giftedness. And then the science of reading. I've really been trying to, since I finished my reading certificate program, trying to learn more about the science of reading and how it applies to my middle school students, especially those that might be struggling in some way. And coming out of a pandemic and the emergency teaching that we've had for the past year and a half, I think it's really applicable to be thinking on how can we bridge those gaps for our students that might have some. So on the screen are the course essential questions, but really, folks, when it comes down to it, what I am interested in spending my time on is making connections and getting my students to be critical thinkers and critical readers so that when you are presented with all kinds of information, you can pour through that info and sort out what's real and what makes sense based on your life experience. So we'll spend some time reading and writing and thinking and discussing and presenting. All of those things will make up English 6 this year. So we'll start off the fall with a book that every sixth grade student will read, which is called Touching Spiritbear by Ben Michelson. I've actually had the privilege of meeting Ben. He came to my classroom when I was at STMA, and he got to read aloud to my students, which was a really cool experience. So I get to read that book with all of you, and I've read it so many times, and it's still a really good book, and I still take away new things every single year that I read it, and now I get to teach it. So that's been an exciting thing that I started since I joined BCMS. Then later on in the year, you guys will pick out one of these novels in verse that you'll get to, or actually these are the book club novels, so you'll pick out one of these, and you'll pick out one of these novels in verse. That'll come, oh, I would say probably sometime in the spring for both of those things, maybe midwinter. And then in addition to that, we'll spend some time reading some different short stories and nonfiction pieces that come out of our textbook. And we'll spend some time learning the Greek and Latin roots and choosing our own independent choice novels. So we've got a whole lot of reading and writing and speaking and viewing and listening that happens right here in class. In terms of grading, you can see on the screen the grading scale. That is the BCMS grading scale, so that should be consistent across all of your classes. But the weighted part of the gradebook, that might differ from class to class. We as an English department in 6th grade have agreed that 30% of our assignments will come from our formative or daily work, and then 70% of our work is from the big stuff, the tests and projects and quizzes and presentations, those kinds of things. You can expect that I'll be sending you an invitation soon to Google Classroom. So I've been busy crafting our Google Classroom and trying to prepare that digital side of things. And so my plan is just like I've done in years past. I've always had a Google Classroom, and what I like about Google Classroom is it gives us a spot. So if you are gone for an orthodontist appointment, or you are at home sick, or something comes up, you're on vacation, you can still see what are we doing that week. So that's a really good spot to go for our weekly agenda, and then to get any copies of assignments that you might need if you forget one at school and need it at home. And then with that, there's a couple of helpful hints. Know that our grading is always going to be done in Infinite Campus. Even if there is a grade in Google Classroom, the go-to spot for grading is always Infinite Campus. In the stream of Google Classroom, that's where you can find announcements. In the classwork tab, that's where all of those digital assignments will be. And I've also got a link in that classwork tab to our weekly agenda. And then if you are in need of help, I never want you to feel stuck. So you can get help from me at school. You can get help from me via a Google Meet if you're at home and need some help. You can email me, or I've even got a student questions post in our classwork tab of Google Classroom, and you can go there and try to get help from some of your classmates. Finally, if you need to contact me at all, this is my contact information. I will typically be at school from about 7:45 in the morning after I drop off my boys at Parkside until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I have to go get my kids after school. So between those times, I am available, and you can always reach out and get some help from me. I am looking forward to a great year. I can't wait to see you soon. Have a great rest of your summer in these last few days that we have left, and I'll see you on the Tuesday after Labor Day. See you soon.